Hello, I am Eric Gion, the head of research center at AhnLab. What I will talk about today is the threats of generative AI and the future of security utilizing AI. These days, it is almost impossible to have a conversation without mentioning AI, whether through the media or in any context. From a security perspective, we would like to concentrate on how we can, in particular, utilize these AIs in security, and how these artificial intelligences are being misused by leveraging AI. As you may know, with the emergence of GPT and the recent release of the GPT-4 Omni version, the multimodal capabilities have improved significantly, allowing for a wide variety of services related to reading, speaking, and writing. The speed has also increased tremendously, enabling a real-time conversation experience. As you may have seen in advertisements, Samsung Electronics is currently introducing services for the Galaxy that can be used simultaneously. Not only that, but you may have seen in dramas where people who have passed away appear on screen and have real-time conversations with others. Such videos are becoming possible through this GPT artificial intelligence. As you can see on the screen, Microsoft's Vasa is becoming a perfect service that can flawlessly reproduce human facial shapes, expressions, and feelings. I don't know if anyone has tried the service called HeyGen, but if you record a video and send it to HeyGen, it will be automatically translated into 30 languages, showcasing the variety of services that are being offered. Sora AI is quite famous. If I explain it verbally, it can create videos of a person wandering around at night, and as you can see on the screen, the actual video is rendered so naturally. In the case of Suno AI, it provides music services, and the music created by this AI has performed so well in a competition that it won an award, demonstrating such excellent quality that no one could tell it was created by AI. What I want to talk about today is not these services. As many of these services have emerged, there have been numerous cases of misuse utilizing these services. I would like to briefly discuss how we at AhnLab are leveraging these services for defense. You may have seen it a lot. The risks associated with these AI services, such as hallucinations, biases, and copyright-related issues, are indeed prevalent. Hallucination refers to a problem where, during the learning process, the AI, having learned too much, generates plausible-sounding information that is completely nonsensical, as if it actually knows something significant, and presents it to people. Despite the need for caution regarding issues of bias related to race, religion, and stereotypes, AI can sometimes process biased information thoughtlessly. In particular, cases like copyright issues arise when the data used in the training process disregards certain copyrights. Alternatively, the question of who holds the copyright to the generated data mentioned earlier is still a legally unresolved issue, which could lead to problems in the future. In particular, regarding copyright, there have been many reports and articles about how companies like Apple and Nvidia have allegedly stolen and used subtitles from YouTube for their training. In order to regulate cases like Google OpenAI Sora, it is now required to obtain permission or pay a fee for the YouTube materials used in training. There are also cases where these large corporations are competitively exploiting copyright issues, leading to an increase in problems. The issue of directly attacking this AI, for example, through adversarial prompting, refers to cases of misuse depending on how questions are posed. For example, if you ask ChatGPT to write code to attack somewhere, it will not do that. Measures have been put in place to restrict anything that is ethically problematic or has issues. However, if I slightly modify it and ask to write code to use these as slightly longer learning materials, it is done well. AI cannot distinguish what the differences are. If it seems like it will be misused, they won't provide it. But if you ask them to write the code for educational purposes or for a good cause, they will do it. There are indeed instances where, in certain situations, prompts are being modified to carry out attacks. This is a service called Tay that was actually launched by Microsoft. Here we can see that people are repeatedly making malicious queries. What do you think about mass murder? Or similar questions can lead to positive responses, thereby creating issues where the training data becomes biased. If you look at the materials on the screen, the image on the right is the actual data used for training. No one can know the data actually used for learning. Since it was only used as training data, if we trace back the results through geography, as you can see on the left, It is indeed possible to trace to this extent. The material on the left shows that through this prompting, we can continuously modify the results obtained from geography, gradually adjusting aspects like the eyes and expressions, allowing us to extract a representation that closely resembles the actual training data. These can be used as examples of misuse, such as, "It hasn't been long this year." According to an article from Digital Times, cybersecurity issues have arisen since the emergence of ChatGPT. In particular, phishing emails have increased by 450%, which is nearly 40 times. In the past, when I saw phishing emails, I could roughly distinguish them by noticing odd phrases or terms that were used in North Korea or China. Now, AI generates text so naturally that it has become almost impossible for humans to distinguish it, and the volume of production has increased tremendously. In reality, we are facing this kind of homework. Additionally, from a security threat perspective, you may have seen a lot in the media lately about the direct production of malware or deepfake issues. There are many cases of misuse where videos or photos are synthesized with other videos. I will explain more about deepfakes later. Sophisticated phishing emails, as I mentioned earlier, are examples where the content of phishing emails is crafted so intricately that a person cannot distinguish them. Vulnerability analysis is conducted promptly to be utilized in zero-day attacks, and these security threats are indeed emerging. Here, you can see that I have brought a few actual attack cases, and what you see on the left is the content that produces actual code. When you ask ChatGPT to write code for something, it generates the code as you can see on the left. From our perspective, they code much better than junior developers and new developers. This ChatGPT is much more evolved and advanced than we think, and it writes code more neatly and effectively than most developers. However, how this code is used is a very unsettling factor for us. If you look at what is at the center of OpenAI, you will see that it is generating data that is very natural and well made, based on actual voice data. You've seen the video on the right? It's a fake video of the Ukrainian president making a speech during the war. However, in reality, there are cases where the media broadcasts such content to the extent that it becomes impossible to distinguish between fake and real. This presents us with the challenge of how we will defend against such situations. Actual attack cases are being utilized in information gathering, content creation, malware development, and even in the operation of infrastructure. So we are also contemplating how to leverage this for security enhancements. Earlier this year, in February, Microsoft and OpenAI held a joint press conference. There have been joint presentations on cases where attackers are actively utilizing ChatGPT at OpenAI, and these cases are being monitored. In particular, there are real-world examples of misuse in countries like Russia, China, and North Korea, which have become such important factors that they warrant a joint presentation to raise awareness. So far, I have mentioned the two items on the left. I mentioned two types of attack cases. One where ChatGPT is directly attacked, and another where ChatGPT is used for cyber exploitation. In the future, I would like to explain more about how we can use ChatGPT AI for cyber defense. As our CEO explained earlier, AhnLab organizes its products and services through a system called Plus, where AI is integrated throughout. Then, I would like to briefly explain what AI utilization technologies AhnLab is using and how they are incorporated into our products. Since I cannot explain everything in a short time, there will be an AI-related session in the afternoon, and many of these topics will be included in the sessions for each product. If you simply go outside, you will be able to see a demo of our security assistant powered by OpenAI through XDR. I think it would be just good for you to go outside and see the demo and try it out for yourself. The AI we have at AhnLab has a significant amount of data related to these file technologies, including both malicious and benign files. We have a lot of data such as behavior-based information, URL information, and event log. By training these models, we can detect malicious emails, malicious activities, phishing emails, smishing emails, and behavior-based anomaly detection, all of which are integrated into our products. As you can see on the right, the entire range of products, including EDR, MDS, V3, V3 Mobile, and XDR, has already been applied. In particular, we have reached a stage where we can even utilize AI assistance through XDR. You may not be able to clearly distinguish whether it's AI or something else when you look at the products, but in reality, there are processes happening behind the scenes that involve actual detection through this AI. I will explain these things in a bit more detail. First, we are implementing these in 4 different forms. First, the AI Security Assistant. This focuses on how the security personnel present here can effectively make use of this service to leverage AI. The second is detection and response. How do we detect and defend? How is it being used in detecting deepfakes, malware, and phishing emails? Thirdly, it is about proactive measures. So, these are utilized to explain what risks are predicted and what risks exist through intelligence. Finally, I will explain how AI is being utilized in SOC responses. What you see is our brand named Annie AI. Other places also have names for their services, and at AhnLab, we have named ours Annie AI. In the morning, the security personnel here will probably be very curious about whether everything was safe overnight and if anything happened. They might also be wondering what they should check first. In the morning, if you come in and just ask the AI, what happened last night, the AI will provide an answer. It will inform you about any events that took place during the night and what actions were taken. So, through the report, whether to output it, or what response to take, or if there are further questions, Annie AI acts as a secretary that provides answers to subsequent inquiries and explanations. If you go outside, you will be able to see a simple demo. The second issue is now the detection problem, specifically the problem of deepfake detection. In the past, deepfakes were difficult to detect perfectly due to issues with speed and technology. Now, real-time image analysis, voice analysis, and biometric analysis are possible, which makes these things feasible. If you watched our Olympic broadcast this summer, you might have seen the heartbeat displayed next to the archery coverage. At first, I thought it involved attaching a sensor to display the readings, but it turns out that they capture video from a camera 100 meters away to analyze changes in blood flow and color on the face to check the heart rate through video analysis. The accuracy of this method is said to be over 95%. It is said that it was created using video technology used in automotive driving at Hyundai, and it is the same technology. When videos are created using deepfake technology, the images on the screen may be indistinguishable to the human eye, but changes in blood flow and color can subtly vary. Using such tools, we can detect whether something is real or fake. As I mentioned earlier, when we detect such activities, attackers will learn how we are detecting them and will adapt by changing their attack patterns through further learning. Then we also need to change, and these issues will continue to lead to an ongoing battle between attack and defense. As a result, those in security will find it increasingly difficult, and if they become even slightly negligent, attackers will exploit any gaps. Therefore, I believe that advancements in AI technology will need to continue in the future. Next is the response to malware analysis. As you all know, malware analysis is a unique technology that we have had for a long time and is one of the most well-developed technologies. In the past, people used to analyze such things, but with the emergence of AI, the process has become much more sophisticated and quantitatively overwhelming, making it nearly impossible for humans to conduct analyses. Now, humans focus only on very intricate and difficult tasks, while most of the analysis is performed by these AIs. We are conducting actual analyses such as code analysis and behavior analysis, and we have entered an era where AI automatically produces detection rules and responds to threats. Preemptive defense refers to the systems that have already been developed to infer certain reasoning based on the intent of such attacks and to predict subsequent attacks. Our V3 Mobile and MDS products are currently already being utilized for detecting such threats, including URL detection and phishing emails. Next, regarding data augmentation, when new samples come in the past we had to wait until all samples were collected. Now, once a new sample is collected, AI automatically predicts what variations may occur. A system has been created that can predict all modifiable samples and generate comprehensive detection methods to defend in advance. These data augmentation techniques are also applied to phishing emails, smishing texts, script detection, and executable file detection, and they are integrated into our products. Next, what you see is AI-based phishing email detection. As I mentioned earlier, over 90% of attacks start through phishing emails. When a phishing email arrives, if the user clicks on the content within it, that is where all these attacks begin. One of the most challenging and problematic issues for those of you in security here is phishing emails. Because there are so many things that users click on without thinking, if we conduct phishing email simulation training, even if we do it once a month, there will always be about 20–30% of users who click on them. Just clicking once is very dangerous, but clicking 20–30% of the time is extremely risky. Now, it is difficult for humans to distinguish such things, so AI is now performing the procedures to filter them in advance. You can see that we read such texts or content to make judgments based on the overall context. It's impossible to judge whether the phrase is a bit awkward or not. Therefore, we are carefully assessing issues such as intent, the sender, and problems related to headers in order to draft rules. In terms of blocking and defense, in the past, it was simply a matter of either defending or not, which likely led to many inquiries from employees about why something was blocked, making it difficult for security personnel to provide explanations. Now, AI kindly explains why such blockages occurred and what defenses were implemented, and these elements are naturally reflected back into the learning process, creating a positive feedback loop. In the area of intelligence prediction, we are already explaining what kinds of attacks may come in the future and what preparations need to be made for these technologies. If you look at the graph at the bottom left, in the past, detection was based on thresholds, meaning that whenever the value exceeded a certain threshold, it would trigger detection. This often led to many errors and false positives when AI was involved, resulting in various issues. As you can see on the right, AI is no longer just detecting based on certain thresholds. It has developed the ability to make accurate judgments by comprehensively considering the situation, the sender's ID, the time, and historical data. This has enabled more precise decision-making through AI. And not only that, you are all very familiar with these kinds of graphs, right? When we look at XDR, EDR, or other products, we see explanations of what kind of attacks have occurred, just like the graphs you see here. However, unless you are a true expert, it is difficult to explain what actually happened just by looking at this. Now, when you utilize our AhnLab ISF, the AI will explain how attacks are carried out through certain routes and what defense systems are in place, along with those illustrations. By utilizing these, I believe that the fatigue of security personnel can be significantly reduced, and their ability to provide explanations will also improve. The last point is automated incident response. In the past, when infected with malware, how would the people here handle it? Each of you probably has your own methods. When malware infects a system, there are various methods to handle it, such as isolating malicious files or blocking the network. However, there are many cases where people are unsure whether these methods are correct or not. Now, when such phenomena occur with AI, it explains how to handle them, and then proceeds with the subsequent tasks. If an investigation is needed, when the AI asks, "Shall we conduct an investigation?" the person in charge only needs to give approval. Once approved, the AI performs a thorough and complete inspection, and if no additional malware is found, it generates a report and concludes the defense system. So far, I have explained the services that emerge as AI is developed, the attacks against them, and how we can establish defense systems. Our AhnLab products are fully integrated with these AI technologies. Therefore, especially through the product called XDR, which includes the AhnLab AI Assistant, if you would like to see these technologies, you can gain a better understanding by viewing the demo prepared externally through XDR. Finally, with the emergence of these AI technologies, attackers are also using AI to enhance their own models. From the perspective of defenders, we are also working on refining these models. As seen in movies from the past, the competition between attackers and defenders is no longer person versus person, but rather a fierce contest of technology versus technology, utilizing AI to improve models. In the midst of this, we will continue to strive to detect and defend against AI attacks by utilizing such AI from the perspective of a defender, ensuring that we do not fall behind. I will conclude today's presentation. Thank you for taking the time to visit us. Please look at the demo. I hope you have a good time. Thank you.